Okay, first off, let's just say speaking in front of a large group of people is not my forte. And I'm used to being in front of a bunch of 8-year-olds. So I'm just gonna pretend you're all 8, okay? When I started forming my ideas for this speech and thinking about what I wanted to say, I was having a hard time coming up with something inspirational and worthwhile to encourage a group of teachers that is about to embark on a year-long journey of lesson plans, conferences, meetings, and much more. So I decided to reach out to a fellow special educator and a friend of mine. The first question she asked me is, well, what do you think about when you start a new school year? I hesitated and tried to think of something that was the good teacher of the year answer. But honestly, the only thought running through my mind was, I gotta make it through 180 days. I wish I could say I was able to develop something thought-provoking like another year lies ahead where I get to mold, challenge, and inspire young minds every day. Or with a new school year comes fresh new starts and new challenges. While those themes are true, we also know that this week marks the beginning of our race to 180. So let's take a minute and look at those 180 days. Let's remember that within those 180 days, there are small moments where we as teachers get to make a big impact. 2 days from now, you will be in the midst of day 1. On day 1, all we really want for it is to come and go quickly and survive. Most typical day 1s are all about procedures and rules. Elementary teachers are thinking about greeting their students with smiles in the morning and fret over how they are going to get them home in the afternoon. Secondary teachers are helping students get from class to class and helping those with lost looks in the hallways feel a sense of relief to calm their nerves. If we just pause at day 1, I would like to give each of you a challenge to make day 1 different. Try something unexpected or unusual that may catch your students' attention. In the middle of all those rules, you could stand in front of your classroom of students and do something to start a relationship with them. What could you do to help them buy into the content you will be teaching that semester? Now, I'm not saying skip or get rid of all those rules and procedures. Maybe just slide those things down in your lesson plans a bit and make a good first impression on day 1. Those students falling in love with you and you with them will forge a bond much stronger than procedures. They are the why behind the procedures. Without them, good teachers know they mean nothing. So let's fall in love on day 1, and the remaining 179 won't be easy, but they'll be meaningful. So skip ahead to day 10. Routines and procedures are established. You are in the middle of your first units of reading, math, or subject area. Teachers start seeing the ins and outs of each student. You can tell that Johnny's going to need a special spot on the seating chart, or Sally is really excited to tell you all about her pet hamster over and over again. It doesn't take us long to figure out those quirks, right? Days 25 through 75 are usually a blur of activity. We are in the groove and we feel confident. We start seeing interventions make an impact for our struggling students. Our learning labs are full and busily helping students in math and reading. Every bit of our being and thoughts are dedicated to the betterment of those tiny humans, or big teenagers in your classroom. Those 75 days are full of more than many lessons, lectures, and remediation, but 108,000 minutes of inspiring, leading, and challenging. As we move through the school year, winter break gives us all that we need and time away to rejuvenate and spend time with our family. Then we meet the milestone of day 100, which is kind of a big deal down in elementary land. We celebrate with all the 100 things, hats and shirts galore, and some of us are dressed like we're 100 years old. Secondary teachers probably cannot relate, and day 100 is just another day for you. But what if you do something different on day 100, meaningful or memorable for your students? Research states that something different or unexpected is going to remain in our minds longer. So try to be part of your students' memory. try something unexpected on day 100. Now, as we inch closer to the finish line, we hit testing time. We jump the hurdle of I-Step, or I-Learn, or whatever they're going to call it next, and we find ourselves at day 150. Around day 150, all we really want is a dry erase marker that isn't dried up. Close to day 150, we start celebrating students and whole class successes. We see the fruits of our labor come to fruition, and we start hearing about our year-long successes at our PLC celebrations. Now, we finally made it to our favorite day, right? Day 180. The praise hands are raised, and we give each other "we did it" high fives as the last bus leaves the parking lot. We reflect on the year's accomplishments. We remember those first days of the year and how much our students have grown. We look back at the aha moments, superstar lesson plans, and flashes of joy because students are excited about learning. All those moments, big and small, wrapped into 180 days. We did it. 180 days. Of all those accomplishments and successes are sometimes wrapped into one school year. 180 days, sometimes. But let's step back and remember that sometimes it takes longer for those successes to come for some students. Some students need 180 days times 2 or times 3 to reach a goal. We work together from one year to the next to help that student succeed at their own pace and with their own accommodations. Some students are working harder to do simple tasks that come easy to other students. Now, several years ago, I had a student on my caseload that was struggling in every way to decode simple CBC words in her second grade class. Her ADHD and learning disability prevented her from progressing as fast as her peers. However, each gen ed teacher, special ed teacher, therapist, counselor, and instructional assistant helped her over the course of several years to get her where she is today. At the end of last year, in 6th grade, she rocked her I-Step test and passed it by a ton, according to my fellow Teacher of the Year, Will Lesko. You see, that growth didn't just happen. It was the buildup from year after year of great teachers providing expertise to help her year by year, 180 days at a time. Also, last year I had the privilege of attending a Brownsburg Education Foundation award ceremony for a former student of mine. The award was given to him due to his metamorphosis throughout his education in Brownsburg schools. This student was a 7th grader at East Middle School. He attended several different elementary schools in Brownsburg as well. Now, before the ceremony, his teachers, counselors, and administrators who knew him gathered in the front office of East Middle School, and that office was packed. As I looked around, it started to dawn on me. All of us were there to celebrate one child, but we were also intricate pieces to his whole story. Each of us played a role in shaping this young man into the role model he is today. This metamorphosis didn't happen in one school year. It took more than 180 days for him to learn from his teachers about responsibility for his actions and how to utilize his emotions in a positive manner. For him, his transformation and growth took 180 days times 8. You may only have 108 days with your students, but my hope is that you see it takes a community of caring and dedicated teachers to fully develop a child and help prepare them for the future. Starting from kindergarten all the way up to the seniors in high school, each student in Brownsburg schools has a team of great teachers that have touched their lives in one way or another. By the time a student graduates from high school, we collectively have 2,340 days with them. Let's take those 2,340 days and help our students become lifelong learners and outstanding citizens, while we are their cheerleader, their confidant, and their push to achieve what they didn't think was possible. Let's meet them each and every day where they need us. Let's be exactly who they need us to be on day 1, day 180, or day 2,340. You may be just like I was and stuck into thinking about the long 180 days ahead of us. However, remember, each day counts. Let's remember, day 3 is when we fall in love with our students. Day 59 is when we implement the plan to get little Caroline the help she needs and we hit the ground running. Day 136 may be the day we get an aha moment. And day 165 is when we celebrate and keep going. Don't miss that moment, that opportunity. Don't miss it. Lastly, what can you do this year to be present every day and catch those moments? What can you do this year to make sure your students have every opportunity to succeed, no matter if their success may take longer than others? How can you make the countdown not just to 180 days, but 180 moments to make a child's life better? Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful 2018-2019 school year.